Welcome to the Hartsville Football Coaches Show. I'm Margaret Ann Prater, and alongside me, I have head coach Bert Newton. Make sure to tune into this on our YouTube channel. It's the Hartsville Tigers channel. This will air every Wednesday. It's going to be varsity only, and we'll recap last week's game, look forward to next week, and we'll probably have a couple of player interviews. This is our preseason show, so we're just going to talk a little bit about last year, what happened this summer, and get ready for Austin. But before we begin, Coach, let's thank our sponsors, Agency on Main, Eddie Pruitt Ford, Express Bath, Marmac Commercial Real Estate, Peck Funeral Home, and Life Church. Coach, now that you have a full year of being the head coach, kind of in the bag, what are you doing differently?
Not much. I think that you would think that things would get easier in your second year, and for whatever reason, they haven't. But trying to be organized and try to make sure, our coaches have everything they need to, get our players ready to play week one. Week one's a big one, and we lost that one last year in double overtime. Had our chances to win the thing, and we didn't get it done. So it's been our kids. That one's been circled on our calendar, the whole year. So we're really fired up about our week one game against Austin. We got to go over there, but they're always going to be a great opponent, and so a good way to start the season.
If you could give yourself a pat on the back, because I know that's not your personality, okay, but we're just going to dive in here. And you can look at yourself from last year and say, my version of myself last year did this one thing, but I took a chance on this. I did it right. What would that be? Would there be something that you're like, I really didn't expect this to work, but it did?
I think the thing that's it's probably been the hardest thing for me, but it's also been the right thing to do because I was assistant coach for so long, is let them guys do their thing and not trample on them and not, overcoach them and let them. They're all good, especially our coordinators and all position coaches, and let them. They're guys. They're the head coach of their group, and letting those guys run with it's probably the like I said, it was very hard for me to let go of some of this stuff, but it was the best thing I could have done.
Awesome. Staff changes. Let's talk about that. The coaching carousel is always around.
Yep.
You had 3 new additions that I can remember off the top of my head. Let's talk about them because Coach Bray came in January. So tell us who they are and what they're doing.
Well, when you have just about the guys that left, when you have great staff and great coaches, they're going to get great opportunities to go be coordinators. And so, 2 of the 3 but left went and did that. The other one's wife had a job in Montgomery, and so he had to leave. But the guys Coach Bray came in January, again, coordinator at Coleman in Athens. It's not like it's just, when you can get great people like Coach Bray, it's a big addition. So it's staff changes happen in high school football every year, but the core of our staff is still here and still working hard. So I'm fired up about this year and our staff.
And Coach Robinson's in.
Coach Robinson's in. He played at UNA and coached at Mount Brook the last 4 years, and he's in our special ed department, and he's coaching receivers with Coach Lake and doing a great job and bringing value there.
And then Coach Rogers is back.
Coach Rogers is back, my guy. He left here with me, went to Vestavia, and we were there for 9 months. And then I came back and took him 2 more years to get back. But he fit right in and he's coaching on the opposite side of the ball and doing a great job and bringing a toughness to that position. And so he's doing a really good job.
That's awesome. Let's see. You're coaching linebackers? Is that true?
I've done that before.
I know. But tell me about it. You didn't coach a position last year.
I didn't.
Now, I'm just going to go on and tell you, in a later segment, Coach Cole, we filmed it a little bit earlier, said that it was like Nick Saban coaching the D-backs. So, what do you have to say about that?
That is the fucker 6 of the truth I've ever heard. I'm in here scrapping every day, watching video with them and trying to do the little things that someone that's done this thing for 20-something years, kind of get them great and get them, I've said this a bunch of times. It doesn't really matter what I know. It matters what Hayden Gray and Blaine Johnson and Austin Payne and Malik Mitchell and all those guys know. And so the whole thing is getting them to, understand and have them guys be experts because it don't matter what I know. So,
right.
and that's my big thing is trying to push those guys, but Nick Saban come on up.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Okay, I'm off that bad way. Let's talk about the schedule. I still have some questions about our schedule. Would you please clarify that one more time as to why we have the off week or the bye week when we do?
Okay.
Why we're playing 4 Thursday night games, all that kind of stuff. Just tell us a little bit.
All right. So first of all, I'm gonna blame Brian Moore made the schedule.
Okay.
So that's on you, buddy. But I actually helped him with it, and so I'm fully on board with the schedule. So
I was telling people you have horrible luck.
We have 7 home games, which is a good thing.
Great.
It's a good thing. I know that the last Thursday game, Warmer Jordan, Halloween is Friday. So we're playing the game on Thursday. Both schools agreed to that last year. And we did the opposite last year. We were going to play on Thursday, but we moved it to Friday because Halloween was Thursday. So that's one of them. We got selected with Coleman to be the game of the week, and we agreed with them to do that. You have to play it on Thursday. It's on Alabama Public Television. It's going to be sponsored all over the state. So that's a big opportunity, and I thought it was great for our program and theirs to get exposure on statewide TV. So that's one of the Thursday games. Woodlawn, the contract with them for the last 2 years has been Thursday, and that's our homecoming game. So that was already agreed to. And I think our administration would like having that homecoming on Thursday and kind of getting out of the way. And then the last one's is on me. We're playing Columbia on Thursday because we have an off week before that, and I want to get a day ahead on Decatur, who we're playing after Columbia. So that one's on me. But those are our 4, Thursday games. But the good thing is we got 3 Friday games.
Right.
So.
And the off week, though, you literally didn't select that. No. It was luck.
That was the worst draw I could have gotten. I wanted to be week 8 or 9.
Right.
Of course, I drew the short straw. I also had just found out the day before that, and I wasn't the head coach, I was the interim coach for the 3rd time in 5 years. But the day before, at our Christmas party, Coach Moore told me, "Hey, tomorrow you're going to have to go to Coleman and do this drawing. I'm leaving." So when I talk about accelerated process, it literally less than I had a meeting at 7:30 a.m. After our Christmas party, and he told everybody. Next thing you know, I'm in the car going to Coleman for a 9 o'clock meeting, and that's how we did the drawing there. And again, I'm not very lucky.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right, Thursday night game. I want to go back to those. We got 4 of those. How does that affect your pregame preparation? I know usually in most staffs you have certain things you do certain days. Well, we're kind of mixing it up. Is this going to keep the guys kind of fluid and just ready to go, or is this kind of messy?
I hope so. I like Thursday games because I think number one, I think our staff on a short week is going to be better than most people we coach against. So I've always liked Thursday games because of that. Also, it gives us a day of preparation against the next opponent. And I mean, we're bringing them on Sundays after church, and so that'll turn into more of a Monday practice day and kind of accelerate the clock that way.
Awesome. All right, let's talk about Austin. Last year, heartbreaker, double overtime, 35-34. You chose to go for 2 instead of kicking the PAT.
Yep.
So I'm going to be the person that all the people at home are going to ask him. I want to ask you, this crew this year, are you going for 2?
If we can end the game and go for 2, and we feel comfortable with Coach Lang feels comfortable with the call, and Coach Prater says do it, we will definitely do that again.
Awesome. They wanted me to ask, so I'm asking. I looked at the series with Austin. It's pretty close. Hartsville leads 32 wins, 25 losses, 1 tie. What can you say about this rivalry? You've been a part of it now for several years.
Yeah, well, it's funny. When I first got here, it seemed like it wasn't much of a rivalry. They were top, probably 2 or 3 program in the state at that time, had unbelievable talent. And then, they went 7A, which we got into different regions. When they went 7A, we started playing week 1, which made it special because it's such a good crowd for both teams. And, it's almost like the last time we rescheduled with them, there wasn't really a debate like if we were going to do it. It's, hey, we're doing this no matter what. And, there's rumors out there they could be 6A the next go around, which would probably either kick us down or put us back in the same region. But we'll always play those teams that are great rivalries like Austin and Decatur and Coleman as long as, the scheduling allows.
That's awesome. Let's see. We don't have a turf field to practice on. They play on the turf field. So what are we doing to get ready?
I mean, our kids, we play every away game on turf. We'll be fine. If we want to, we can go somewhere and pay to borrow somebody's turf if we need to practice there. We've done that before. As long as it's not raining us out, our practice feels fine, and our kids will be fine with turf.
Okay. All right. I got 2 more non-Austin questions, and then you're off the hook. When I posted the photos last week from the first practices in pads, I had a couple of moms, grandmas, take care of our babies. So tell them, put them at rest. So tell them what we're doing to take care of their kids in this hot weather, how we're keeping them hydrated, things like that.
We do we water whenever they want. We stop and have a snack in the middle of practice to try to soak up some of the water that we're drinking. John Hammondtree has 4 or 5 coolers out there that get refilled multiple times throughout practice. So, and we're going to keep them hydrated. And then, we try to be smart. We're still a physical football team, and we're going to hit, but we also, have 150 Guardian caps that go on the shell that reduce concussions. And so, I think, we do the best job we can medically and through the structure of our practice to protect our kids. But at the same time, being really, really violent and playing hard and hitting people hard. So, but I just think we do a great job of protecting them and teaching the safest way to tackle and block.
Awesome. All right. Last one. I talked about player personnel a good bit, or I'm going to in this show with Coach Prater and Coach Cole. But this is your opportunity. Who's someone that has shown the most growth since last year? Or that person you want to highlight over the summer? It could be personal growth. It could be strength-wise. It could be playing ability. Whatever you see. Who's a couple of people you want?
I think Carter Lee has grown up tremendously this summer. He went from a guy that we knew could run it and was going to be okay passing to he's making some really, really tough throws now. And if he can do that consistently, I think our offense could be pretty special. Auburn Herring's had a great summer. He's really grown up as a person, and his accountability is especially this last month has been next level, because if he's right, he's going to be very hard to block. He's quick as all get out, can run, and so he's another one that's had a really good summer. Chris Hudson's had a really good fall camp. He is a safety. The position's called free safety, and I think he likes being free more than safe. But he's been great in the box, and then Hayden Gray's had a great camp too. I can keep naming kids. I mean, Coy Wainick has been a big surprise at how good he's been at fullback. I didn't think he'd be a guy that we would be starting, but we are. He's been great. Ethan Haynes has been great at tight end. So, and we've had several offensive linemen be really good too. So, again, I'm going to leave some kids out because we've had a really good fall camp, so far.
Well, we got a lot of coaches shows. We can talk about those guys. And I thank you for your time. I know you're really busy, but we'll see you next week with post-game content from Austin, and thanks for tuning in.
Go Tigers.
Come see us at Eddie Pruitt Ford. We're a proud supporter of Hartselle Athletics.
I'm Dwight Tankersley.
And I'm Jane Hampton, and we're your agency on Main. Local realtors here to serve you. One of our team members will be more than happy to find you that perfect home. Go Tigers!
Okay, I want to welcome to the show our offensive coordinator, one of our co-offensive coordinators, Coach Matt Frater, and Mom will be so proud that we matched this week. You started last year with a 2 QB system, or, you played most of last year. You had Noah in for more your passing downs. You had Carter come in for more your running situations. He's passing and running this year. So how is he adapting to his new role?
Oh, Carter's done a really good job. He, come in the summer, obviously throwing a lot more, so it took a little bit of time to get back in the groove of things. But through fall camp, he's looked really good as a passer, making good decisions, throwing good balls. So, I mean, he's eager, which is good because it's his time, and he's doing well.
That's good. O-line, you're the coach. How they know?
Work in progress. That's all I'm gonna say. No, we're actually they're doing good. We've got 3 returners, returning starters. Actually, all 5 have started a game. We had to start the 2 younger guys because of injuries last year. But the older guys are communicating well with the young ones and bringing them along, and so we're making progress.
They told me that keeping everybody healthy was the big thing.
Yes.
So that's good.
We need a year where we don't lose at least one or two players for the season at some point.
Well, there's one particular I told them to put him in a bubble. We're gonna have to do that. I was looking at the depth chart that Coach Lang sent me, and last year one of our questions preseason was your depth at the skill positions.
Yes.
And this year that doesn't seem to be the same situation. I don't know if they've had as much game experience, but it seems like we have lots of backup. So is this a, hey, let's go compete for these positions, or hey, we got this many guys ready to go?
It's a little bit of both. We've got some guys that were not particular stars in skill positions last year, but played in games, and now they're ready. And then we've got some young guys that have come along. But as far as overall, we're probably the deepest at skill positions that we've been maybe since I've been here. There are guys that can go and play on Friday in big games. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be hard for defenses to stop all of them, so it's going to be nice.
That'll be good. 4 yards in a cloud of dust was our theme last year. Is it the same this year, or are we going to try to mix things up a little bit?
Well, if it's, 100% left up to me, it would probably stay the same. But with the depth that we have now at receiver, and with Carter doing such a great job of passing the ball right now, we are going to be more opening things up. We hope to than we may have in some games in the past. But if we need it, we're going to give it to them backs. That's what it's going to be.
I'm going to go. We've done some happies. Let's do a retrospective here. Last year, the Austin game, I was looking at the stats. We were kind of crippled by penalties there. And when you talk to you and talk to your players, they were both like, this was not our cleanest effort. This was not our best effort. So I know that, just like I teach in my business classes, we make a plan, we go evaluate, we come back, we regroup, we try something a little bit different. We try to tweak it. So what have y'all done in the off season to kind of get them ready for this first game?
Well, we've talked to them. I talked to the group yesterday when we came in on Sunday, and we talked about how long we have worked to correct mistakes, to develop depth, to do all the things that we need to do to get to this point. Now we've got to be locked in. We talked just a little bit about, the mistakes that we made last year, and how I know Coach Lane mentioned to the players as well that, when we run some of these plays in a game, we're calling them one time. They're there for some of these plays we call shot plays. We're going to call that play. We're going to run it one time.
Situation.
So, yeah. So if we make mistakes during that, it could be as easy as a false start. Well, that play's done for the game. So the attention to detail, that kind of stuff, we've really kind of harped on, this is what we talked about all the way up to this point. Now we got to go do it. So we're hoping we play a lot cleaner than the second half last year.
Yeah, well, they were just talking about, we did some great things, but we just need to clean it up. We played so close. Then I have one more question, and you're off the hook. You have coached on both sides of this game, and you've played in this game. So what can you tell me about the rivalry between Hartsville and Austin, how important this game is, even though it really makes no difference at the end of the season?
It's a very important game. I know the players, a lot of them know each other. Obviously want to win this game. I know from a coaching standpoint, when I was down the road at Austin, this was one that we always wanted to win. Probably the two biggest games for us outside of region play were the Hartsville and Decatur games. And I know here as well, when I was a player, you always wanted to beat both teams in Decatur. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
All right, thank you for your time. We'll be right back.
Looking to remodel your home bathroom? Call Express Bath today.
They were good people to work with. I had no trouble with them.
We always take care of everybody, no matter how big and small.
The team of Express Bath, we do what we say we're going to do.
The highlight was seeing a new shower in a 60-year-old house. So it was a great experience.
We're a real company, we're real people, and we love serving real customers.
Call us to schedule an appointment today. Express Bath. We'll bring the duck.
Alabama owned and Alabama loved.
This is Shane Odom with Marmac Commercial Real Estate. We approach real estate with our 3I approach: integrity, intelligence, and innovation. to be your full-service real estate company that can handle all your real estate needs, from commercial, such as warehouse, retail, apartments, to land, farms, residential developments, along with houses such as investment homes or your dream home. Marmac Commercial Real Estate has over 15 years experience providing award-winning full-service real estate experience. One team, endless possibilities. Marmac Commercial Real Estate.
All right, we're back here with our defensive coordinator, Coach Matthew Cole. Coach, let me just name some names here. We got Jace Pruitt, Jaylee Metz, Porter Simmons, Jamison Falciani, TJ Sanders, Noah Gibson, Hudson Bucklew, Saban Witt. Those guys aren't here this year. They're gone. So tell us about the new crew. You're just replacing a lot of guys and a lot of statistics that I saw on those stats sheets.
We are. And those guys are all really good players, really good leaders. But we were fortunate last year to play. We played several guys on rotation. So, you know, we've got all those guys are gone, but we've got several coming back too that have played meaningful snaps and were in the rotation last year. So
that's awesome. Defense had 4 shutout games last year in a row. So what are your goals like this season? Were those goals last year, or did that just kind of happen?
No, not really. I mean, the goal is always to score one more point than the other team and win the game. But anytime you shut somebody out, you know, that's always a good feeling on defense. You know, because if they don't score, you know, we won't lose. But goals kind of remain the same. You know, we're going to be good in the box. You know, we're going to stop the run. And then no shots over the top. I think anytime you do that, you have a chance to win.
I wanted to talk about this. We got a couple of new / old faces on the defensive coaching side of things. We got Coach Bray back, and rumor has it Coach Newton is coaching some linebackers. So what's it like to have the gang back together?
It's awesome having those 2 guys. You know, Coach Bray and I hired in together in 2012. You know, they won a state championship, and then the entire defensive staff, I think, with the exception of Coach Miller, Coach Wade Miller's dad, I think left and, you know, went to different jobs. So, you know, Coach Bray and I hired in together in 2012. So it's good to have him back. We're really good friends and a good coach. And, you know, and having Coach Newton is, you know, you got the best defensive coordinator in the state for however long. To me, you know, coaching linebackers, you know, kind of like having, you know, he'll love me saying this, kind of like, you know, Nick Saban coaching the DBs at Alabama. You know, we got Bert Newton coaching the linebackers here, so that's just going to make us better.
And his son was in an Oliver shirt the other day. We got to work on.
Yeah, you know,
we got to work on.
Didn't work on.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. You have some experience, but you know, this is their first game of the season, right? Takes a minute to acclimate to the speed of the game. It's hard to replicate in practice. So what are you guys doing? Because Austin's going to be one of the most physically gifted teams that we play all year. So what are you doing to get them ready?
And there's nothing really that you can completely prepare for you know, first game with, you know, you hope they're not big-eyed and all that. And because we got some guys over there, and we had some guys last year. You know, I think of Carson, you know, going in and starting his first game against Oswego. But I think it's just the way you practice, and our team in general and our program in general. You know, you can't prepare for the speed of the game and the Friday night lights and J.P. Kane and Austin Stadium and all the Friday night stuff, but we do a lot of best on best, you know, stuff, you know, even throughout the year. And so I think that prepares us a little bit for the first game jitters and things like that. You won't ever get rid of those, but the way we practice best on best, it helps.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your time. I'm sure I'll see you again this season, and we'll be right back.
Appreciate it.
Peck Funeral Home is owned and operated by folks who live in the same communities they serve. Our employees are the heart of our business. The funeral home proudly employs over 30 local individuals. Currently, the funeral home is managed by Jeff Halbrooks, who has held that position for over 20 years. Our goal is simple and has remained the same now since 1929. Peck Funeral Home strives to provide genuine service from the heart.